Hi, we're the Three Gigs, Three Guys in Glasses, and I'm Craig, and I'm going to be the owner today.
I'm Jim, and I represent the general contractor.
I'm Paul. I represent the subcontractor in our discussion. And today, we're going to be talking about the notice to proceed.
Right. Just a simple little document.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jim, read a definition for us. What is a notice to proceed?
A notice to proceed is a formal document, usually identified in the general contractor or subcontractor's contract, that is a requirement to be received by the contractors prior to starting work and accruing costs.
So the classic example of this would be that you guys have a contract. He issued a contract to you, the general contractor.
Yeah.
He gave you a notice of award at some point that we're giving you a contract, and then you came in on a date and you signed that contract.
Yeah.
Well, after that signing of the contract, that might start the clock, depending on the verbiage of the contract, or it might not.
Right.
There may be some verbiage in there that says, wait until he issues you a notice to proceed.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's the trigger.
So am I the only one who issues a notice to proceed?
No, actually, in my contract with Paul, I could have a notice to proceed requirement for him, because if I have a specific time defined for Paul's scope of work, meaning you have 4 months to complete all the site utilities, I'm going to tell him start on June 1st, and he needs to be done by the end of September.
But you're not going to say when to start until you've gotten mine.
I've gotten yours. Yeah. And kind of what really the value of it is, you and I can go through all the rigmarole and the budgeting and everything to start preparing a contract, negotiate all the terms, understand we're going to build this project. It might be August and we're working through all this. You're getting your financing in place and all that. And we work through everything to sign a contract. So we have that in place.
We imagine it's going to start in January.
We imagine it's going to start in January if everything falls into place at the right time. One of those things in our contract might be an exhibit that says, here's our contract schedule, and we've agreed that it's going to take me 18 months to build the job. So now we have all those terms and times and numbers worked out, and we finalize everything. And let's just say we got lucky and we started January 15th, not January 1st. What you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, everything's ready. Here's your notice to proceed. And then suddenly the clock is ticking on me. Right? It's time. I got 18 months from the day you issue that notice to proceed to finish the job.
And I'm expecting in 18 months it's going to be done from the day I give you that notice to proceed.
Exactly. And if anything at all starts to stand in his way, he's going to be able to come back, and that's the clear documentation that he was given a green light. Right. And then conversely, if he didn't get that notice to proceed and the clock starts on the date that you sign the contract, he will be very interested in whenever it is that you do send that, because the later it is, the documentation is there then that you didn't give him all of the time that was in that contract to do the work. So it's a great documentation. It helps us to document delay. Establishes that start date if that's the language of the contract. Now, it's almost always a situation that the owner gives the general contractor that notice to proceed. It's not as common for the GC to give the sub an actual formal notice. A lot of times that's a phone call or an email saying go. But we actually do kind of appreciate it when we do get one.
But you have to kind of expect that call, right? I mean, in a way, you have to get a notice to proceed. You're going to sign a contract with him. I might sign the contract with him. I'm going to sign a contract with him in September. I'm expecting him to go ahead and lock down his bids, right? Yeah. He's got a contract. So he's locking you down now, and it might be October. And whatever the subcontract says, you generally understand you don't mobilize until you get a phone call.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to give me a notice of intent, and those have no teeth in them at all. They basically say, hey, we intend to give you a contract if it all works out. Right. So that usually doesn't carry any weight. I can't take that to my my bank. I can't take it to my bonding company. I can't do anything with it at all other than just say, okay, I'm on the wing.
You need a
I'm in the
contract.
wing. Yeah. I need a contract signed. But beyond that, I still am waiting for that notice to proceed at some point. So let's say he doesn't choose to give me a formal one. That email that he sends to me or that phone call, I'll document it. I'll send something back to him that kind of formalizes it. Hey, we're accepting this as a notice to proceed, so that if that is the start point, it starts the clock ticking, and that's by the date that from which we would start tracking on delays, depending on the language of the contract.
Does this keep me from getting any bills for stuff that is before I've given the notice to proceed, or do you get to rack up costs and send them to me?
No, we can't until you tell me. Now you start your contract, then I can't really start billing you for things. I could award some contracts, but if we terminated, there's really no costs yet until such time that you give me the notice to proceed.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned a story once about a kind of like a temporary or
a limited notice to proceed.
Yeah, limited.
So one time we received a limited notice to proceed to order some equipment that was long lead that we needed, in advance of finishing the next step. So we got a limited notice to proceed to order the electrical equipment, which at that time was 58 weeks lead time. And
so the owner did not want to incur anybody's costs. It was very specific, narrow notice to proceed to buy this one thing or two things.
Yeah, he didn't want to open up to everybody, but just one or two.
Now, so in conclusion, it's a pretty simple dynamic, and everybody needs to know how it works and what it does. But that's kind of it, really.
Yeah,
not real complicated.
Simple document.
No, but critical.
But so critical, absolutely so critical.
Yeah,
so
critical.
All right, well, look, we're the three gigs, three guys in glasses, and this is what we do from time to time. Make sure you like us, subscribe to us, pass the word around.
Any comments? Feel free to send them in.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time around.